Greetings!
That was very loud. I'm too quiet. Hello!
Hello!
We're back with The Pale Beyond. I've watched the footage from our previous video in which Bordel is incredibly loud.
I am.
And I'm not quite as loud as I could be, so I'm going to try projecting a little bit more.
Guess which of us has the theatre degree? It's not the one you think.
Well, I just feel like my voice is a lot louder than it is, so I always hold back when I'm speaking. So I do naturally get a bit quieter.
I'm just noisy.
Oh, where are we? Oh no, it's stained by awareness. Oh.
Stained by awareness is my
It shouldn't be
band.
pink. It should be white because you're not stained by awareness. There's no way to not be stained. Alright, well. We were up to week 3. Previously on The Pale Beyond, we set sail on a ship. We are the first mate, Robin Shaw.
Robin Shaw.
Who's been kind of a prick at the minute.
Wow.
Voiced by Bordel, and also all of the choices are by Bordel. Let me get the cast sheet out. There you go. So we know who we're playing and when we can find it. The first major decision was what to do with Runt, the kid, the stowaway, and you decided to send him home without his father.
Well, his father could have gone with him. That was I left the decision
It was
up
his
to him.
choice, but he needed to pay, so he couldn't go. You also allowed a lady called Dell with the doggies in Stanbury to stay, which is good because they do come in handy. So
I feel like I've doomed these dogs to death, but I chose not to doom the kid to death. So.
Not you personally. Let me just check the audio mixing because I know this gets a bit loud. Okay, no, it's on 50. You just need to turn down your.
Turn down my. There we go. That's better. There we go. That's better.
Okay.
That creaking doesn't sound like someone coming through the floor.
So here we are on week 3. Our journal so far. That's it. All that happened. Another week passes. We finally entered the thick ice leads, and the days grow ever brighter. Let's leave. And if we go downstairs, we can see all the sleeping sailors snoring away. We should ring this bell and wait for the bell here. We should ring it.
I wonder why the first mate and the captain don't have hammocks. You think that's a recipe for seasickness?
Beds, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was very standard. Hammock.
Hey, look at that. See, we're in the ice, properly in the ice now. Look at that. Look at us breaking through there. If we look at the map, you can see we're right in the middle of it. Food and heat, we're on 24 heat and 16 food. That's just from the first 2 weeks. We'll get that back though.
I was going to say what happens if we get stuck in the ice, but isn't that literally what happened to the Terror and the Erebus?
That is what happened to the Terror and the Erebus. So
they literally got stuck in the ice.
We already know what happened.
Yeah.
But our mission is to make it to Viscount Island up here. So we're about halfway there, I suppose.
Okay, nearly.
We're getting there, we're getting there. It's only taken us 3 weeks. Okay, where to? So we can go to the captain's cabin if we want, or we can go and visit the doggies.
Let's go visit the doggies.
And we can pet the doggies.
Oh. You back.
Hello. Rub your belly. What a good boy. Pat its head. He looks like a very cocky dog, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Look at his face. He's like, yeah, you know I'm cute.
The thing is, though, the smell in the dog shit.
Oh,
like,
it is quite a small room, isn't it? Right, captain's cabin. Let's take requests for the day. Captain Hunt appears to be absent. His chair is unoccupied. Oh dear.
Is he not up at the wheel?
He's not anywhere. What should we do?
Ooh. Wait for Captain Hunt.
The whole room shudders. We should go see what that was, really.
Yes, we should probably investigate.
Question mark.
Yes.
Examine the problem. So that's Junior. This is Kurt. I'll be Kurt. What in the... Well, I was worried about this.
Look at that ice. We could be trapped for a while.
I'll move along if you want to get closer to the mic a bit. Strong pressures, as if we didn't have enough bother. Well, no need mucking around. Let's get to work. Where's Hunt?
I'll grab him. I'm sure he felt it too. Sure. Check the boiler room. I'm sure the mole man has problems of his own.
Not to worry, everyone. We'll be free and moving again before you know it. Back to work. I like how Junior gives us orders as if he's the captain. Like,
yeah.
We're the first mate.
Like...
Okay, so sometimes people will have a little icon, which means you can speak to them. If it's not gold, it doesn't necessarily advance the story, but you can, like, get approval from them or learn more about them if you do speak to them. So.
Officer Shaw, what happened? Ship's come to a stop. I almost flung my camera into the wall. We didn't hit anything, did we?
I don't know, did we?
We're trapped in some ice. We'll need to break loose to get moving again. Well, let's hope we can do that sooner rather than later. Trapped in the ice, though. It'll make for a good photograph.
And down into the lower deck. Is your volume okay? Here's Grimly. Ship stuck then. If you're looking for Hunt, you just missed him.
How? We didn't cross paths.
Don't ask me. I'm going to check with my brother. Okay. Oops, went too far there. Into the boiler room, shall we?
Yeah, let's go for
Where's
it.
the coal bunker? Oh, the coal bunker. I'll take some coal. That's the kits.
Very posh way of saying coal.
There we go. There's Hammond and Templeton. Aye, if I'd made any errors, I'd tell you. It's secured. Don't you worry. They notice you.
Am I interrupting?
Not any more than he's interrupting my work.
I'm ensuring that the boiler was not damaged in the sudden commotion.
And I told you that if it was, you'd already know. I'm not in the business of making mistakes. I know that if the furnace goes, we go down with it.
Yes, you're only one man, with just a pair of engineers as assistants. Just looking at the number of valves, this seems far too much for you to handle.
Maybe your bloody benefactor should have considered that. I've got used to it by now. I will hold. Trust me.
I will. Well, I will have to, won't I? I don't fancy staying on this ship any longer than necessary. It's imperative we break free from the ice as quick as possible.
Hammond eyes you with a grimace on his face. First mate's here, but where's the one who got us into this bloody mess?
I was hoping that Templeton knew. I was informed by one of the Stokes that I had just missed him. But I have a suspicion as to where he may be now. We're on a ship, an unmoving one at that. The man cannot simply disappear. If he is anywhere, he must be in his cabin.
When you find the man, give him an earful on my behalf. Can't do it myself. Too busy keeping us alive. Templeton gives a nod.
I believe you and I both owe our good captain a visit, Shaw. But you should call the crew for dinner first. Routine is important, especially now.
Not before we fed this furnace. Mind grabbing some coal from the bunker, Shaw. Are you afraid of dirty hands like Mr. Templeton over here? Oh, we already grabbed some coal, so...
Throw in the big X.
Coal goes in, we stay alive. Really is that simple. We feed the furnace, pop some coal in, it gives plus 20 to the furnace. There we go. And if we get into the event where people are freezing, we can raise the heat to procure freezing. Right, it's light in this room, let's get out of here. Do you want to do this?
You emerge mid-deck to find the crew readying themselves for dinner, despite the ice. Some seem nervous. Others, as if nothing has changed at all.
I think we can go into the pantry and grab some food to go in the hoosh pot. So pretty much every day we can do that. Same with the coal, each day we can go and gather some. So if we feed the hoosh pot, getting us some extra food.
Why does that look sort of delicious? It looks like a big pot of beans.
It does look like a big pot of beans. God, imagine living with sailors who just fart beans all the time. I think it's actually peaches. The tins are tins of peaches. Do you want to see if there's anyone talking to on the upper decks, or should we just pass time?
Let's see if we can talk to someone on the upper decks.
Just a quick up and down. We could talk to Cordell.
Yeah, let's do that. Officer Shaw, it would appear we've stopped. Curious. Hunt was warned of this pathway, was he not? Even I could see the risks, and yet an experienced sailor carried on. I wonder what goes through that man's head.
Let's have a din-din. Ding ding ding. The crew have their meal. The dinner is shared. The crew return to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. You can't help but notice that it's still bright light outside.
Let's listen in.
Let's listen in. So, you're Junior, I'll do Grimly. You didn't see him either.
He didn't pass by, but his cabin was locked to Richard.
Slippery bastard.
What are you thinking, Hunt?
What is he thinking? There's Kasher again.
No sign of Hunt, I take it. Mr. Templeton passed by, but he wasn't exactly willing to take questions.
Oh, there's the boys trying to get us out of the ice. Good work, lads. See, that's Rudstar. I think that's Cavity. There's two Johns. That's Gnomes, and that is Tashi. I think that's how much I've played this game. I can tell from the backs of their heads. Good. Keep it up, lads. We'll set ourselves right in no time. Ah, Shaw. I just saw Templeton entering the captain's cabin. Seems Hunt's holed himself up inside. Maybe if you had a word with our good captain, he'd be willing to lend a hand. Shall we go find Captain Hunt? Mr. Templeton.
I was informed that he was here. Where could he have hidden himself?
I wonder where he could be. Wherever could he be? What could this be?
Why is he in the bath?
Where could he be?
He has to be in here. Check under his desk.
Or check the bathtub.
I highly doubt he's cowering beneath the table, Shaw.
Ah!
The captain's laugh rings out from behind the door.
So, I've got this little cube. Should I pass it between us for who's doing everything? So, I'll do it first one. The captain watches you both, his head swaying as he chuckles to himself. Oh,
you are a surprisingly difficult man to get a hold of, Hunt. Seeing that this is your ship.
Ha! I know it well. Hunt's eyes turn to you. I believe you two are already acquainted.
How long have you been drinking?
I don't suppose you care to join. Hunt shakes his hip flask as he holds it out, whiskey sloshing and spilling from the top. And what of you, Shaw? I can't tempt you with some sweet nectar.
I don't drink.
Oh. And you don't care to humor me this once? Ah, well, your loss.
You intend to offer drinks at a time like this? This ship, your ship, is trapped in the ice.
Oh, it's my ship now, is it? And what do you expect me to do? Get the shovels out?
What do you mean? This isn't your ship?
Bought at an auction. Not by myself. Imagine that. Captain of a private vessel, and I don't even own it. Pathetic.
Mr.
Captain.
If you are not fit to stand, then you should retire for the night. Shaw will stand in your stead, and we can continue in the morning.
And abandon my duty? No captain who would do that is a fit captain. Wouldn't you agree?
Well...
Not you, Shaw. Isn't that right? What do you think makes for a good leader?
Making the difficult choices. Choices nobody else wants to make.
Do you think you could live with yourself? They all act like the choice is the difficult part. The choice is easy, Shaw. Instinctual. It's not being able to sleep after. That's what they never prepare you for. But I'm serious, Shaw. To you, what makes a good leader?
We don't have time for...
And a word, then. What makes a leader?
Understanding.
Understanding? Explain.
The ability to adapt to your crew. To understand that individual needs make up the whole.
And if those needs conflict, that's all well and good to think you can bend and twist and please everyone. Do you think you could balance that? Scorn a man one day, then appease him the next? Do you think that balances out? Which is he more likely to remember? Speaking in platitudes will do you no good. A good leader is something more than a single rule you are told to follow. When you see one, you just know.
You have wasted enough time pining philosophical.
Oh, my apologies. I'll ask the real questions. Shaw, look at where we are. Do you honestly think we're going to survive this?
I had no assumptions on returning alive.
Well, you best form some. Wouldn't just be your life you're thrown away. The captain laughs. Shaw, nobody knows we're out here.
That doesn't leave this room.
No. Wouldn't want to upset your employer.
Our benefactor.
We all want to be paid after this, don't we?
Enough! If you weren't fit to lead this expedition, you should not have agreed to it. You shouldn't be...
None of us should be here. Old Kurt paid handsomely to join. You're just a botanist sent to keep an eye on me. A doctor! Ha! And then there's me.
What are we actually searching for?
Hunt chuckles, gesticulating mockingly with his hands. Ghosts. Templeton opens the door.
The captain needs his rest. We'll discuss this once he's of sound mind. Let him speak, Templeton. I wish to know more.
That's all right, Robin. Well, the captain's buggered. Try to speak to him. Go on now, Shaw. It'll be all right here. What a bastard! Exclamation mark. The captain appears to have fallen asleep. Good job.
GG.
Yeah, well done, everyone. Good work. Let's talk to Templeton.
Yes. Captain Hunt needs his sleep. It would appear the pressures of command have greatly affected him. You should find some rest yourself. The crew have their commands. Clear your head, and we will continue on the morn.
Should we do the rounds, see if there's anyone to speak to?
Yeah.
Lady Cordell.
One would think Hunt would be taking action at a time like this. Instead, the man has squirreled himself within his office. And on.
Says the lady sleeping with the dogs.
Yes, squirreled away with the dogs.
Anyone? I think we're good. Let us end this week. We really picked up as things all start to kick off, didn't we?
You awake to a room awash with green. There is a loud banging on your door, and a familiar voice speaks from behind the wood.
Shaw! Are you in there? Shaw!
Hammond, what's going on? Why is everything green?
Never mind the green. The boiler's in serious trouble. Pumps need manned, and we need to stop the whole system overheating. And I don't need to tell you, if the furnace goes, we go.
What am I supposed to do? You're the engineer.
Well, I couldn't bloody find Hunt, and you're the next best thing. I need someone's authority to take action. Now bloody give it to me.
Lead the way, Hammond.
Right, let's move. We need to find the captain, now. Should we talk to Kasha?
Yes.
Kasha rushes up, holding her camera tight as the ship rumbles.
What's happening? Are we going under?
Not if we can help it. Out of the way.
It's safe to go up top, right? That aurora. It's a shot I can't miss.
Kasha steps back before snapping a photograph of the ensuing chaos.
Wow, she cray.
She just likes to take a good picture.
The lights of the aurora flicker over the pale ice. Pretty.
Ooh, yeah, very pretty. The animals are barking furiously at the green that has invaded their territory.
Calm, Stanbury. What is happening to the ship?
Nothing I can't fix, don't fret.
Then I shan't stop you, Mr. Hammond. Have you seen the captain? I've been resigned to this room, and I'll have to stay as such. Lest you wish to add a frightened kennel to your current quarters.
Is the audio okay for you? It's not too loud, is it? You don't want to turn the sound effects down or anything, do you?
No, I'm okay.
Cool. Let's head to the captain's cabin then. Well, he's not in the bathtub anymore.
He's gone down the plug hole. Nothing.
Visibly perturbed, he takes a moment to compose himself.
Even the tub is empty.
How would you expect him to be in the tub?
Not important. This doesn't make sense. The man seemed barely fit to crawl himself into bed earlier.
What? Hammond turns to you. Alright, sure. Captain's missing. You're in charge.
Good to hear.
Don't get a big head about it.
Yes, indeed. The crew are no doubt waking at this moment. They're no doubt scared, confused. It's your duty to keep them calm, to maintain order.
Hammond glares at Templeton. That's Shaw's job to get down to the boiler room, now! We've already wasted enough time looking for that bastard Hunt.
If you storm down to that room, all you'll be doing is inciting a panic. We need to calm the fears of the crew, maintain an air of focus.
Lie to them as the ship goes down.
Not at all. Instead, to assure them that we already know how to remedy this matter. You do know how to remedy this matter, Mr. Hammond.
Aye. We need to be quick. I don't have time to worry about some stupid sailor's feelings. We've got a bloody ship to save.
Well, it's as you said. Officer Shaw is in charge. The decision is yours.
What should we do? Do we focus on calming the crew, or do we go down and try to fix the ship as soon as possible?
Hammond is right. We can't waste any more time. The boiler won't wait for us. Fine. I will keep the crew at bay then.
Come on, don't worry about him. Let's go. To the boiler room. This is very pretty though. I like this shot. This would make a good desktop screensaver. Take a screenshot. Down, down, down.
As more of the crew notice you and Hammond descending below, the whispers begin. Soon, the crew pick up the pace, walking directionless with hurried footsteps. Kurt approaches.
Boiler trouble, I take it. I'll lend a hand. Not when you're walking with that cane, you're not. I have enough strength to go tell the crew to hit the lower decks, as many as possible. Let's go ashore. Time to save this blasted ship.
You descend the ladder. Ahead, you can see the brothers trying to open the door to the hold.
Join the brothers.
Trying to get in? Same. Door's stuck.
Pull harder, you bastards. We need to get in there.
We need to keep the furnace alight. The metal door unsticks. Grimly looks to you before darting off into the dark.
Where's that bloody idiot running off to?
To sound the alarm.
Bloody hells. Let's get moving.
You enter the boiler room. As you enter, Hammond's engineering team are hard at work. The larger of the two engineers loses grip of their valve as steam begins to shoot out, causing Hammond to dash forward.
Watch it!
Hammond tackles the engineer to the ground, saving him from a nasty steam burn.
Made it just in time. Grips, that is you, I believe. I can swap them round.
What's the word, Chief?
Keep those valves pumping. We need to avoid a water hammer, or we won't be making it off the ship. Shaw! The rest of the crew aren't here. Grab a valve and start turning. Pick a valve, any valve.
That one.
This one.
You grab a valve and begin turning, trying all you can to keep the water at bay.
Pump!
You feel the ache in your muscles as you continue to pulse the valve, push the valve, keeping the pressure at bay.
Oh, we're losing fuel.
The furnace rumbles and sputters, hemorrhaging fuel. You keep turning, doing the best you can to keep the pressure at bay.
We could be at this for hours. Shit, where's the rest of the crew? Brought help.
The furnace rumbles and sputters.
Get me coal and turn those valves. Okay, what do I do? Valve, coal.
Valve.
We need to assign a crew.
Let's assign gnomes to go get coal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we just assign them. They grab the valve.
Another valve.
That one. And
Just point it
assign.
right now. Tashi.
Yeah. With enough hands working on the boiler, you begin to fight back the potential water hammer.
Someone's gonna have to hold the furnace in place. Two Johns.
Two Johns approach the furnace. The group shakes.
Water hammer!
A jet of steam paints John. It subsides as they writhe in agony. You give up the work, shifting the valves until the boiler is fully calm. The ship is saved. You won't be sinking today. As the crew give assistance to the wounded John, you feel your muscles tense. You fall back, collapsing from exhaustion. As you lay back, all you can hear are a pair of panicked voices.
Where the hell is Captain Hunt?
Gone.
Two Johns got
I
hurt.
feel so bad. I was like, he's strong. He's strong. He can
He
do.
is a strong boy.
Oh no.
Well,
I'm so sorry.
we're out of fuel, and we're down to very little food rations. Can't even change that. Oh, that's why. So it's not looking great. Fuel, yeah, we can't afford fuel. I think we probably should have got coal while we were down there, but I didn't realise if we did the valves it would lock us off from getting coal. Anyway, so we'll have to go half food rations. We don't have enough for full,
Okay.
because we'll lose about 30 decorum just from that alone. If we go
Right.
down to no food rations, we'll lose 40 decorum. We'll be down to 45. As it is, we're on 55.
The Temperance is saved from sinking. The Aurora passes, leaving only bright light and white.
Oh boy. Week 4. 1 week at Temperance Camp. You're alone in the captain's cabin. Out across deck can be heard the commotion of the crew. Word has spread quickly that Captain Hunt is missing. Templeton slips in through the door.
Sure. What is it, Templeton? Hunt is still missing.
Rufus Hunt is missing.
And he isn't alone in that regard. Sanders, Sparrow, and Gren are also unaccounted for.
Against Corvid, Joe, and Smurf.
As is a sizable food and fuel supply, and one of the larger lifeboats. Sure, you and I are not naive. It seems quite clear what has happened here. Yes, but why would Hunt abandon us? That is a question I cannot answer. I doubt we'll ever know at this stage. The former captain is no longer with us. You understand what that means, Shaw? That would be Captain Shaw now, I take it. Not quite yet. A new captain must be selected by the crew. As first mate, you have the most clear argument to take that role. And how do I argue for that role? Your presence in the face of Hunt's absence is an argument in itself. They will hold a vote as soon as possible. That carpenter, Grimley, he is still loyal to Hunt, and many of the sailors will follow his vote, if not all. Though I can assure you that you have the vote of myself and my scientists. Kurt and his crew are like to support you as well. I am unsure where the engineers will side. They're likely loyal to their pay. John is still recovering from steam burns, which may end up working to our favor. And the civilians are a mystery. But I believe when all is said and done, you will just about make the vote. You have clearly given this a lot of thought. Of course. It is vital to remain aware of the crew's intention. They're waiting outside, sure. They're scared. They don't know where to turn. You and I both understand the importance of maintaining decorum.
Decorum is at 55.
Though times seem dire, remember, there is a rescue ship on its way. Even if the Temperance falls, we still have a potential escape. 35 weeks. The ship will arrive at Viscount Island in 35 weeks from now. We should focus on surviving that long. That is all we need to do, Captain. The Relief could become trapped just as we have been. That is always a risk, particularly here in the Pale Passage. But that does not mean we should assume as much. We should assume the same fate does not befall them. Another 35 weeks, Captain. Keep it in mind. Here, you should have this.
Templeton presents you with a fancy-looking hat. Hunt's hat.
He left it behind in his cabin. That tells us what we need, doesn't it? Take that.
The commotion outside grows. +1, Captain's hat.
I choose to willfully observe reality. I suggest you do the same. Captain.
The scientist refrains for a moment.
What is it? I think it's best we declare that the captain and the missing crew are dead. There's no need for us to complicate things any further. After what he did, they might well as be. We understand each other then. Wonderful.
The crew are waiting for you on deck. Here we go. Do you want to look at anything or just head out?
Let's look at both.
The desk. Hunt's ledger is gone.
Look at the tub. You leave a hair.
The last place you saw Captain Hunt.
Leave a
There's
curly
still
hair.
drops of whiskey, frozen. A single hand. Someone's been in here. Right. Let's address the crew. The hushed voices become more distinct as you make your way back out into the open air. You notice the absence of John. 2 Johns!
Now he's
The
just
crew
one.
members notice you and stop. Their attention ripples across the deck.
Attention! It should be clear by now that Captain Hunt is no longer serving his post. As such, we should vote in the new captain. I nominate Officer Shaw for the role. The clear choice as first mate.
And what of Hunt?
I do not see him among us, do you?
Don't see a body, either. He's still out there. We don't know what happened.
Something we can discover. For now, someone has to take the reins of command. All in favour of Officer Shaw.
Start the voting process. John is wounded, so he's abstaining. Arthur Nutley, the doctor, loyal to us. Kurt.
Ooh. Oh, no. Oh dear. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. That was close.
So you saw how each specialist is in charge of, like, people
There.
follow them.
Yeah.
And if they're loyal to you, then the people who follow them are loyal to you. You have been confirmed as the captain of the expedition.
Well, the ayes have it. Shaw shall be acting captain from this point forward.
Acting in Captain Hunt's stead. The crowd look at you expectantly as Templeton gives you a knowing nod. A moment passes in the cold as they await your next words, curious murmurings scattering between the crew.
Wait for them to quieten down.
As they look to you, it's not long before the obvious question spills from a crew member's mouth. York the Third, that is me, I believe. Where is Captain Hunt?
He's dead.
The crowd immediately cuts to silence, so you got loyalty with Templeton for lying to the crew, but it may have consequences further down the line. Templeton nods. Minus 15 decorum, and Hunt is now registered as dead.
He was lost along with 3 crew members in one of the ship's lifeboats.
You scan the crowd. No one dissents. A silence hangs in the air.
I know you're all scared. To be honest, I'm scared too.
The crowd begin to bubble up once more, with more and more questions coming to the surface. Members of the crew start speaking out one by one, with questions thrown your way in quick succession. How are we supposed to survive out here?
Is help coming?
That's you.
What about our pay? Will we still be paid? We'll have to rely on each other out here. Everyone will have a role to play. We were all brought onto this crew for a reason. Time to exercise those skills. I know this isn't what we signed up for. Stick with me and I will see us through.
Oh, what of those lost, Captain?
A memorial service will be held once the ship is freed from the ice.
Understood. Well, you heard the captain. Get to it. The crowd dissipates, returning to their roles aboard the ship. You pass Templeton. He nods.
Not back.
You nod back and move on. Oh boy. That was the time. Okay. Shall we
Talk to Kurt.
talk to Kurt? Shaw! Or should I say Captain Shaw? That Hunt. A true shame that happened to him. Still, no good dwelling. I have confidence you'll take up the mantle well.
Do you have any experience leading expeditions?
I've never captained a vessel, if that's what you mean. But the navigator has just as much responsibility to lead. In that sense, I have plenty. Shall we check in with the crew before going down here?
I suppose congratulations are in order. I would hope you're prepared for the task at hand, Captain Shaw. Why did you abstain during the voting? I am not a member of this crew. It did not seem right for me to weigh in on their matter.
Anyone else has anything to say? Yeah, everyone's still asleep. Ooh. I have a bedroom. Cash's own little bedroom. I'm out. Captain now, are you? As long as you aren't in my way any more than Hunt was, I'm happy.
You happy?
How's a clam? Now, if you don't need anything, you can be on your way. Get some piquettes.
Some baguettes?
Some piquettes. And then we go here. I know I take the hunt. You're just gonna keep standing there, or give us something to burn. And pop the coal in the fire, and there we go. 20 fuel. So as you can see, that's not going to be enough. So we're going to need to use the crew to our advantage.
What, like throwing them in the furnace?
Yeah, throw them in the furnace. You lift a crate of tins from the shelves. Can I get another one? Okay, see, so we assign crew to each role. But let's do requests first, because sometimes requests will ask you to assign crew to tasks. So those tasks usually tend to be like quite important and can help in quite good ways. So we want to do the requests first. Templeton.
There should be no hesitation, Shaw. You are the captain now, and you must carry that authority instantly. It's best that we carry out the daily routine as normal, show that you are capable in the role. We should take the day's requests immediately before seeing to our resources.
Let's do it.
Request.
Requests.
You saw the duties of captain firsthand while serving Hunt. You're acting captain now. It's time you take up that mantle. A line is already forming at the door. No surprise, given the circumstances. Take them as you may, Captain.
You're the captain now. And Templeton is your advisor.
Let us receive Curtin Cordell.
Curtin Cordell. Captain, I've brought the Kennel Master with me. This is something you will both want to hear.
I have a strong suspicion on what this matter is. I was planning to speak with the captain on it myself.
Fortunate happenstance, then. Captain, I know these conditions well. I've seen them before. Any idea of the Temperance being freed of the ice anytime soon is a pipe dream. We need to press on. We need to become aware of our new environment. Trust me, Captain. We'll be living off of it for quite some time.
And what of you, Cordell? Do you agree? Indeed. The dog sleds will need to be exercised regularly, and there is no better way than to engage in hunting.
We're quite lucky, despite the circumstances. Now is the peak time for hunting and navigation.
And navigation?
Traversing the ice may be a possibility in the future. We need to be prepared for that. If we are to survive out here, we need to know what lies ahead. These are uncharted territories, Captain. We have no idea where we are.
Your current rations are not set to last forever either. Send any hunting party to me as you please. My dogs and I will ensure their survival.
Cordell exits. Same sentiment for myself and any scouting teams. If you wish the great unknowns to be braved and charted, I'm your man. We need to know what lies ahead. Keep looking forward. What's next?
Hammond.
Saving that boiler was only the start of our troubles. Have you seen a stay of this bloody ship?
It has certainly seen better days.
She's bleeding in the lower decks.
I believe the older stoke is attempting to rectify that.
We need to stockpile as much fuel as we can. If the furnace runs out by the end of the week, we die. If we spend too long on this ship, we die. If we don't stockpile enough fuel for the winter,
We die.
aye. Get me some coal, get it in the furnace.
I'm afraid he's not wrong. That coal bunker is our only source of fuel for the time being. Until we can procure alternatives, we should assign crew to shoveling whenever possible.
Junior.
Sure. The ice looks unbudging, doesn't it? It would seem that way, yes. Crew seem to think so. Think if we don't intervene, the Temperance will never get freed. If you're suggesting breaking the ice, I can assure you that won't work. I'm not. They are. No intervention is going to break up the ice enough to free this ship. Putting others to work on that is simply a waste of manpower. Ah, maybe. They're scared though, worried. They just want to feel like they've tried something.
Pick like 6 different accents for him.
I know, I can't stick on one. I can't remember what I did in the last one.
No, I can't. I always do Grimly, like quite gruff, because he's a bit of a not a people person. So what do? We could try. I mean, we know Kurt's already told us we're not freeing the ship anytime soon. So any attempt to do so is a pipe dream. But doing so might raise spirits. But it means we're using manpower. What do you think?
I guess it depends how many people are assigned to it.
Don't know. 3 or 4 maybe. Those are people who could be shoveling coal or gathering food or hunting with the dogs. But, like I say, it might raise spirits. So. It's your decision, Captain.
No, it's not.
What would Shaw do?
I think there should be something else for them to do that's actually useful. And if we're going to use that manpower on other tasks, we tell them, look, this is fruitless, but
Well,
you
we
can
can't-
do this other
not,
helpful
That's
thing.
not the options we have. Those aren't the options.
Oh,
It's these 2 options.
I don't want to be.
You're the captain, you have to be. Time's ticking.
We can't waste crew.
What's that?
Templeton's right. We cannot waste crew on a pointless task.
That's you, sorry.
Understood. Best not to sell false hope. It only leads to more disappointment in the future. I'll see you for dinner, Shaw. Don't forget the hoosh pot needs fed.
We should pick an accent for them, and, or at least a voice anyway.
Yeah,
So I do Gribbly quite deep, but is there an accent we should do?
I just defaulted to Yorkshire.
I know, but I can't really do a Yorkshire accent. Yeah, okay, we'll try Yorkshire from now on for Junior.
Those guys. Before dinner, you should see to sending out our first sledding team. I also believe it's time you gave our good doctor a visit.
I think they're supposed to say we.
We still have wounded from the night of the Aurora. Their wounds will need attended to before they're fit to work. I was like, who's Will? And I doubt I need to remind you of this, but we need every hand available. Don't be afraid of assigning my team for some manual labor. They'll complain, but they'll work.
Cool. So here's the gist. Zoom out. We've got scouting parties we can send out. With scouting parties, they cost 3 dogs each, and we also need to send a number of crew. So for scouting, it needs to be a scout. So we can send 1. They'll discover an area, and then we can send out crewmates to investigate that area, either for food or science. Science is like research, which can help you towards the end of the game. So would you like to send... Shall we send one out now?
Yes. Let's just go that one.
This one,
Pick.
please.
Yeah.
Shall we send...
Let's send...
Quilsey, Yorick, or Flick?
Let's send Flick.
Send Flick.
I like Flick.
And then there, see, we've discovered some seals. What kind of one is that? Is that leopard seals? No, it's just regular seals.
If it were a leopard seal.
Regular old seals, so we can assign 1 to 4 crew, and the more crew we send, the more food we'll get.
Okay.
And we can send sailors, scouts, engineers, scientists, but we can't send specialists.
Okay, let's send sailors to get food.
Okay, get that. We'll send 4 sailors, but hold on, before we do that, I'll show you other ways that we gather resources. So, nope. Back to camp. Shall we listen in here?
Yeah.
That is Flick and Mrs. Gloss.
You did seem familiar. I've finally placed you. You have you? Yes, I remember seeing you compete. Soren Killipper, you were quite the gymnast. I'm surprised to see you in this line of work. Not too many gymnasts carry long careers. You did quite well when I saw you at the Summer Games. I recall you placed. I don't recall winning.
I always like to check. Send below deck. What's this? Tucker. Tucker is me. Sure. Or should I say Captain, right? I thought your name sounded familiar. I sailed the merchant lines as well. Think we served on the same ship a couple of times.
Good to see a fellow merchant navy veteran among the crew.
Aye, you know the struggle as well. A shame we never fully crossed paths. Still, small world. Good luck, Shaw. Let's see the doctor.
You enter the ship's infirmary. Your presence seems to startle the young man inside, the rattle of dropped forceps ringing through the room.
Goodness, it's you. Captain now, isn't it?
Captain Robin Shaw, it is good to meet you.
Dr. Arthur, Nutley. Dr. Nutley. Dr. Arthur Nutley. That's it.
It's good to meet you, Arthur. Nutley gives a weak smile.
Thank you. It is good to properly meet you. I suppose I seem a little scatterbrained at the moment. It isn't the norm. Recent circumstances have been trying, and the inclination towards seasickness is no help. John, the steam burns they suffered from the furnace are severe. If you let me take a look, I can do my best to alleviate their pain.
Is there nothing more you can do?
I'm trying. I wish there was, but there's no cure for these kind of injuries. I'm afraid this is the extent. At this point, all we can do is wait.
Nutley lets out a nervous cough.
Captain Hunt, he... do you think he may still be out there?
There's a chance, however slim.
Right. Perhaps we'll run into him again? No. That's ridiculous. Never mind. Apologies, I'm rambling. I suppose you wanted an update on the crew?
They seem to be faring well, all things considered.
I suppose you could say that. Mostly scrapes and scuffs. As for the dogs, you're better asking, well, the kennel master.
That's fine. I wouldn't expect you to be a veterinarian.
Good. Please don't. I haven't taken well to the dogs. I'm unsure how to carry myself amidst most people, and animals are quicker to judge. And Cordell herself is harsher still. But you can rely on me for any human medical issues.
Nutley pauses for a moment.
Is everything, good? I mean, is Is someone coming to rescue us?
Everything's under control. He nods expectantly. Nutley keeps his head low.
Is there anything I can do for the crew? So, what we do, for curing crew, anyone who's wounded, we go to the med bay, slap them in there, and Arthur will cure them, and they'll be ready next week. Other things we can do, if our scientists are idle, we can set them to work making medical comforts, and medical comforts can instantly cure anyone in the med bay. So that's if we need to get someone back to work quick. That's an option available. And as you saw, loyalty from the specialists is quite important. So as you
It's
can
very
see,
fickle,
it's
apparently.
quite fickle. It depends.
It
You
go
kind of
up
got
and
to
down.
you got to figure out each one
And
what
what they
like.
would like to
So
say.
Arthur clearly doesn't really like you kind of questioning his competence. But
He likes it when you tell him he's done well.
yeah, basically. So he's only just loyal to us. Kasha is quite loyal to us, so that's quite an easy one. Cordell is not.
Really?
Yeah, she's all the
Interesting.
way down there, so you got to figure out how to make her more loyal to you. Kurt's quite loyal. Kurt is as loyal gets.
He loves me.
He loves us, yeah, he does. Templeton is loyal, but only out of necessity. Junior is not, and neither is Grimley. So you can see each one has this little white bar. That's what we have to get them loyal. So you can see Templeton's bar is quite high, which means it's quite easy to lose his loyalty. Whereas Kurt's is about halfway down, and Cash's is quite low down here. Clive's is quite low as well. Grimley's is all the way up here, and his current loyalty is right down here. So he's probably the hardest person to get full loyalty from, so you can have a challenger here. Anyway, let's carry on down. Talk to Cash.
Yeah. Officer, Captain Shaw. I suppose I should get used to calling you that. I was asking the crew if anyone had seen Hunt or any of the deserters last night. Not a single soul. I know the man knows his ship well, but that seems odd. Do you think the crew could be lying? I wouldn't accuse anyone of that, but it is very unlikely that he wasn't seen by anyone. I suppose the boiler troubles caused a great deal of distraction.
So, in here, we can grab food, we can assign people to collect food, so that's another way to collect food. And obviously that only takes 3 people, so for each person we'd get a can of food, so that's 3 cans of food. And food gives us plus 20 to the hoosh pot. In here, this is the pumps. This we only really need if anyone becomes freezing, or if the ship starts to flood, we can use that. Down here, this is Cash's room, before being here. Once again, we can collect coal, and we can assign crew to coal. Now, this is probably the most important one. We need coal. That is essential. Every day we need to assign as many people as possible to coal. So I say we assign 3 sailors to coal, and then figure out what to do with the rest. So who do you want to assign, or should I just assign whoever?
Let's assign Tashi to go.
Just point to them as well. We've got Gnomes, Lefty, Tucker, Cavity, or Runstar. Who has 1 arm.
I was gonna say, does that mean I was like, no. And
Tucker. There we go. So now we have 3 sacks of coal straight away. What I can do, go here, pop the coal into the furnace. Back up to 80, just like that. Right then. I'll start assigning tasks for the day. So what I'll probably do is get with some food. I'll assign these 3 to food. And we've got 3 crate of tinned food. And I'll pop it in the hoosh pot. That'll get us up to 88. There we go. Plop. Now then. Doctors at work. So, what we can do, we can send out more scouts. I'll probably send more scouts. Or we can use the scouts to hunt. Engineers. We don't really need it right now, so we can send them out as well. So I'll send some more scouts out until we've used all the dogs. So that's a research, so we can send out the scientists and we'll gain 3 decorum instantly, as well as 1 research for the expedition. So if we send all 3 out, we would get 9 decorum. I'm going to send out some more scouts. And that's an elephant seal. It's large game is dangerous. Despite how many people you assign, someone will be wounded. But the benefit is you get a lot of meat from them. But at the minute we're kind of okay on food, and we've already got 2 Johns wounded. So ideally we only really want 1 wounded person at a time.
Yeah.
We'd like a day where we have all the crew, then we can send a crew to try and get some elephant seals, and we don't mind if they're wounded. I mean, we do because we like them, but... And what I'll do is... Actually,
does it vary how much they're wounded, though?
No, they'll go wounded, and if they don't get treated, they'll go into a critical condition.
Okay.
So ideally, we just want to keep them from getting any further than wounded.
Okay.
What I'm thinking of doing is maybe sending... Oh, we don't have enough dogs. Don't have enough dogs.
No.
Oh, yeah. So we've discovered all this, but we don't have enough dogs, so we'll have to send them out in the morning. That's unfortunate. So what I'll do instead... I will get the engine, I'll get the scientists to make some comforts. There we go. I think that's all we can do, because I've assigned everyone to everywhere. The only thing I can do is put someone on this, which is pointless because it doesn't do anything.
Why is it flooded in there?
Because this is where the pumps are. And I believe all the crew are assigned for the day. So we've got people getting food, people getting coal, and that's it. All the crew for dinner. You've got the keep.
The crew have their meal.
Shall we give a toast to our new captain? Who the hell is Moore? One of the scouts. I think that's Cozy. It's weird because it doesn't do their nickname when they're speaking like that.
The crew return to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. Despite the time, it's still bright light outside.
Right. What are we doing?
Listening in on their conversation.
Tucker and Cavity. It looks like we'll be trapped here for a while. And Tashi. Oh, it's Tashi. Aye. I don't like the ship's chances either. It will be some time before we see home. Shit. I'm gonna die of boredom out here before the cold takes me. You'll manage, I'm sure. Speak to Grimly or Junior? I mean, we could speak to both.
Both.
Grimly first. And you need me for something?
You served with Captain Hunt for quite some time. Tell me about him.
What does it matter? He's gone now. None of your business. Try again.
Yeah. He stares at you before nodding to his hammock.
Alright, so for some reason it keeps a little icon above the head even after you've spoken to them, and it'll just like play like a generic thing.
Evening, Shaw. I'm proud of what we've been able to cook up for the crew lately, considering the rations. Though I do wish I had something better to work with. I'd kill for a good beefsteak. You do excellent work, Junior. You have a knack for this. I've been told.
Someone likes praise.
Hunt would say he could need a bite that wasn't prepared by me anymore.
Cool. So anyone else wants to talk to? Kasha.
Good evening, Captain. I was growing used to sleeping on a moving ship before we became trapped in the ice, you know. Now I think I won't have a good night's sleep until we return to land. I think that's something we can all look forward to. A good motivation, then. I know a hot bath and a warm bed are the first order of business when we return to land. I may stay bundled up for several days. Truly savour it.
So each conversation you have, the unimportant ones, it only affects them like minor, like a little bit, so +5 or -5 loyalty. You will get decisions in things you can say later in the game that might have a bigger effect on my loyalty. Bloody cold, isn't it, Captain? Don't you know? Don't know how you spend your time away from the furnace.
You grow used to it. You're used to the warmth of the furnace, I think.
Don't make it sound like I'm the only one benefiting. You're all getting the warmth. Be grateful. That was kind of like you implied he was had it nice and cozy because he's right next to the furnace.
I don't want to go around just
What?
sucking up to everyone. Starts to be a bit.
Awfully loud, aren't they? I don't mind it at all that much. They've worked hard all day. They're owed their leisure. Those sailors ought to remember we all need our sleep. Try to talk to the doctor. Sometimes he might just be like, anyone? Good evening, Captain. Was there something you needed? If you need the latest medical report, I'll have it prepared soon.
I was simply curious about you, Arthur.
Me? Oh, well, I'm nothing to be curious about, to be honest. I'm simply trying to get by, like the others.
What are the bets that he's got mysterious movie wasting disease?
Oh my god, he's a big kid, isn't it? So huge.
Such a tiny.
Evening, Shaw. Cold one, isn't it? I used to think I was growing used to the cold. But as the years have gone on, the elements have only grown harsher on the body.
Tell him he's getting old. I'm sure you can handle it, Kurt.
And you'd be right. I can still complain every now and then. You don't even need his loyalty. His loyalty is maxed out.
I should have told him he was old. You old.
You old. Into Templeton's room. Templeton?
Yeah. Good evening, Captain. It'll be some time before we see rescue. Perhaps you should be endearing yourself to your crew? For now, I'd like to learn more of you. You needn't do that. I would prefer to continue with our work. Fostering personal relationships is not a concern.
Well, you didn't want to suck up to people. Hold on.
I must retire for the evening. I'll see you for the morning's requests.
Sometimes they have more than one thing to say, which is quite annoying because then you miss out. Lady Cordell.
Captain Shaw, I presume you're here to see the dogs? Yes, how are they faring? They've already acclimatized, though recently they've been exhausted and in need of rest. It's no surprise, our conditions keep changing. They grow used to one state before being thrust into another. One refuses to eat and has been losing weight rapidly. I assume the change in scenery has affected it. They need the rest just as any person. They tend to be more reliable, however. So you prefer dogs to people? Is that unusual? I suppose it is in a way. Though I cannot be blamed for that judgment, surely. Captain Shaw, you recall my conditions with Hunt, do you not? Like it was yesterday. My demand was that I work here with the dogs. Your people may help with the sleds, but they are not my responsibility. They are not my people. I am holding up my promise with Hunt. I do not intend to join your crew. Arf! If I get lost in the ice, you're the next Captain Stanbury. Arf! Cordell smiles, confused. So she likes it when I talk to the dogs.
Yeah, she likes the dogs.
Yeah.
Just like the dogs. The animal looks at you.
Give Stanbury the captain's arm. Wait, is that an irreversible decision?
I mean, do you want it back? Depends on if you want it back or not.
Yeah, I do.
So do you want to give them the hat or not? He's a dog.
Pet them.
You ruffle their head. Cool. I think that's everything for the evening. Let us advance time. Okay, so now crew are starting to become malnourished and freezing. So if I go to half rations, you can see the temperature here. So I can cut fuel down to half, and we'll be fine. We'll lose a bit of decorum. Decorum is getting low, so I could raise it if I want our decorum to go up, but then we'll lose a lot of fuel. Food rations, on the other hand, we probably want to keep where we are. I mean, I can drop it. It's just a crew member will become malnourished. So basically, like, we do half now, and then we could do full next week. But either way, we're losing. So quite a good thing to do, tactically speaking, is half rations 1 week, full the next week, and then one crew member's dip in between malnourished and cured. Problem is, our decorum's really quite low at the minute. So I might go half fuel rations, just to take it down by 10 until we can get our decorum back up. Just so we can save on fuel. And then we've got 2 Johns back. The dogs are rested and available to be sent out. Another week on the ice. The ship holds, barely. 2 Johns was cured of their wounds.
Oh, well, that's good. I thought that he said it was critical and they wouldn't survive.
No, he's just a really good doctor. Week 5. 2 weeks at Temperance Camp. Plus 12 available dogs. Okay. Let's see if anyone needs speaking to. I'll do the rounds real quick. So I always like to go and grab a pot, a tin, and some coal myself. Because if we do that, then we get 1 extra for the day.
You lift a sack.
Then I'll put it straight in. Right, let's go take the requests. Take requests. Who do we want to speak to first?
Kasha, I just go in order. Good day, Captain. Well, as good as can be under the circumstances. Good day to you as well, Kasha. Well, I'll be sure to spare you any more obligatory small talk from here. In truth, there is something I've been meaning to ask of you. It's a matter I brought up with Captain Hunt, though he was less receptive. I'm not really interested in the story of this expedition. I'm interested in the story of the people on this expedition. When the crew have the downtime, I would request that I be allowed to conduct interviews with them. I would like to know more about them. Maybe learn more about what happened to Hunt. I see no issue there. Conduct an interview as you please. Thank you, Captain. You won't regret it. I'll mark anything useful I discover in the crew manifest. Send them onto the Red Room, on the lower deck when you can.
The benefit of that is we get decorum for sending them there. Gnomes! That's you.
Word around the crew is that we might end up having to move to the ice. If we can't free the Temperance anyway, it would be wise to gather what we want to take off ship with us if we do. Indeed, we'll need to prepare for what could be the inevitable. Aye, most of the tools are down in the lower deck storeroom. The metal doors need some work to open, but it's worth what's inside.
Mr. Gloss.
Captain Shaw, Mr. Templeton, it would appear that some of the crew have taken an interest in the transmission radios we have on hand.
It's likely many of their first time seeing this technology.
And they have odd ideas of what they're capable of. They believe another ship may pick us up if we monitor them.
Ridiculous. They do not have the range to pick up another, not out here.
I said as much, but Mr. Turner was adamant we spend the night monitoring them regardless. He even sent me to run the camp set by you, Captain.
It's worth the attempt, even if it's just to assure the crew.
We have to assign all the scientists to it, so we can't set them to do anything else in there. You okay with that? So we got some decorum back.
Yes, Captain.
And we got some loyalty with Grimly and lost loyalty with Temper.
Haha.
It won't work, but at least this way the crew will be certain.
Oh,
So now he's demoralized. Each
Yes.
week, a demoralized crew will make us lose 5 decorum. But Kasha can cure that if she's interviewing them. We just can't do it this week because he's already been assigned.
Yes. Otherwise, they will ponder the alternative until we're all frozen.
Quests for the day.
I've learned my lesson about not letting people do meaningless
Do
tasks.
meaningless tasks.
Let them do their meaningless tasks. The question persists as to how long the temperance can hold. Will we be able to wait out the ice? If there is no change by next week, abandoning the ship may be considered.
Right. Let's get to work. Who's this? That is Yorick the Third. That's me, I think.
Yeah.
Ah, feel that air. Nothing better than a cold wind to keep you awake.
You're an odd duck, Yorick the Third. How many hours of sleep do you get a night?
Well,
Second thought, better not be hearing it. I already know it isn't enough.
Pat pat.
You not knowingly at it.
I'm gonna knock it 5 next time today.
Scientists are all taken up. So we go down. What's right, so each of these doors has some special supplies behind it, which will really help us on our expedition. Obviously, the only thing is we need to assign a member of the crew. But I'm going to get some coal, because coal is life.
I love that we all big up the chef. We're like, he's such a great chef. But all he does is pour the same kind of tin into the pot and
Wow.
stir it around. He's not, Heston Blumenthal.
So rude. Okay. So we've got weapons, food, engineers, tools, and science. I'm going to go weapons first. And I will get... God, I don't have many, do I? Run start to help.
You and Runsadar charge into the room. Inside you can see supplies of tinned lemons, a hunting shotgun, a bolt-action rifle, and some flares. With the water flooding in from behind, you have time to grab 2 items.
Okay, so...
So, my first thought is tinned lemons, scurvy.
Yeah, but that's only... Scurvy only occurs if we run out of food. If we have
Okay.
too little food, they'll become malnourished and then they'll become scurvy.
Okay.
So ideally, we want to try and avoid that in the first place rather than getting in a position where we're going to need these.
Okay, and in terms of the hunting shotgun and the bolt-action rifle, is the rifle for killing bigger game?
Yeah. The idea is if you have the bolt action rifle, you can kill, I think you kill 1 extra bigger game. So we can kill 1 more elephant seal. These, so
And flares, obviously, for
we
signaling.
can use them for fuel, but also for scaring off animals if we need to.
Okay. Does that not come into play with the... I guess this is metagame, but does that come into play with the rescue ship?
I couldn't say.
Okay.
It's the end of the game. I mean, this is technical resource management, so I could decide this, but if you want, I'll leave it up to you.
No, you decide this. You be my conscience.
Okay, well, I'm definitely grabbing the rifle.
Okay.
Ineffective against smaller targets. I tell you what you also like. An old-fashioned double-barreled buckshot rifle, slow and cumbersome to load. 4 supplies of tinned lemons, each of them can be used to cure 1 of scurvy. Bright light and heat without an explosion for alerting humans and alarming wildlife can be carefully disassembled for fuel. I'm gonna go for the rifle. So enough time to grab 1 more item and the flares. Okay, rescue some flares.
It's just a pair of flare jeans.
The room is flooded, rendering the rest of the items useless.
At least we have these flared jeans to make my legs look flat.
And then what I'm gonna do, straight away, send some of the boys out to hunt some seals. And because we've got a rifle, we'll get 1 extra. So that is like a lot of food. Good luck, lads.
Grips and Dick.
Grips and Dick. Dick grips are heading out.
Grips.
Dick grips are heading back out. Right. Then ideally, I would like to get the rest of the stuff in here. So let's go tools, and I'll have to get the scouts to help us. Scientists are busy. Let's go, Quilsey.
You and Quilsey charge into the room. It is full of various tools and a crate of tinned lemons.
All tinned lemons.
Life gives you lemons. With the water flooding in from behind, you have time to grab 2 items.
So, medical tools. The doctor should be able to see more than 1 patient at a time with these. Digging tools. Make quick work against pressure ridges and thick the snow when hunting and scouting. This means you need less dogs, I believe, when you send them out. So this means we can send dogs to more locations. With these tools, the furnace may be better maintained, improving its efficiency, so that improves the capacity for the furnace, so we can pop more fuel in. And again, tin lemons cure scurvy. Digging tools and medical tools. Because the thing is,
the furnace is doing pretty well.
and even then, like at the end of the day, we don't need to have the furnace constantly full. As long as we've got enough to survive to the next week, the fuel will always be in reserve. We'll always have the fuel sitting in the stockpile. I think medical tools. Next up, science is a bit useless. Could do 2 more today, and then I could do the last one tomorrow. Just check. I have a science coal today, haven't I? What about food? Yes.
What happens if the coal gets wet?
We lose the coal, which
That
is
would
why I'm
be very
collecting
bad.
as much as possible, because you can see the water coming in.
Yeah.
So, engineers hold. Let's get Yorick the Third to help with that.
You and Yorick III charge into the room. It is full of specialist tools and equipment. With the water flooding in from behind, you have time to grab 2 items.
Oh no, it's becoming an NPC line. Okay, digging tools, so once again, that'll reduce how many doggies we need. Engineering tools, improve the, let's put more fuel in the furnace. Crates lets us keep more food, I believe. And ale kegs can be used to cure demoralization.
Ooh, up to you.
Oh, I'm gonna pick the digging tools. And to be honest, it's kind of... I've never had a problem with demoralization. And this, all it does is improve the capacity. So you can pick, because I think it's quite... Any of these would be fine, really.
I'll choose the engineering tools.
I thought you'd go for the ale. Oh, that did
No,
actually give us 20 fuel. Oh, well.
Yeah, the room's rest.
Okay, let's go food hold, and we'll do the science hold tomorrow. Who've we got? Flick, you tiny little shit. She's so small.
It's like the ant from Bugs.
Are you gonna say it again?
You and Flick charge into the room. It is full of food and ale. With the water flooding in from behind, you have time to grab 1
Only
item.
1 item this time. So we can grab some tinned rations, an opened casket of 4 tinned Appleton rations worth a total of 80 food, or ale kegs, cure of demoralization.
Gonna go for the tin brush.
Nice.
The room is flooded, rendering the rest of the items useless.
Alright, let's pop some food in the hoosh pot. Put coal in the hoosh pot.
Hooch it up.
I'll put 60 in, and that'll bring us up to 100. Ding, ding, ding.
Plop it in.
Plop it in. Hold on.
Wet.
I think I can pop another coal in the furnace.
Some beans in the cup. Beans in the furnace, coal in the pot.
And I think... Well, apart from Kasha, but there's no one free for an interview, unfortunately. Can do that another day, though. Ideally, we want to get Mr. Gloss interviewing, so we'll do that tomorrow, because then that'll get rid of his demoralization. Do you want to view the cut photo library?
Yeah.
Good
Oh.
day with the dog is.
It's nice. Oh.
That is, I think that's 2
Tashi?
Johns.
No, 2 Johns.
2 Johns.
Oh.
There's the bow
That's
of the ship
cool.
looking out into the ice.
Mm.
Assume that's the hold
Is
below
there
deck.
going to be a scary one?
Hmm.
It's going to be something spooky.
Look at the runes on this door.
Whoa.
Ooh. The Temperance.
God, photography's come a long way, hasn't it?
Right, Kasha. We'll be back tomorrow. Let's go and serve dinner. The crew have their meal. The dinner is shared. The crew return to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. Despite the time, it's still bright light outside. See if anyone has anything to say. More of the same tonight.
We'll have to get used to it. Not much you can do with the ice.
Well, we'll figure out something to do, won't we?
We'll have to.
It's like, you know, as far as rations go, this is good. Junior sure knows how to prepare dinner, doesn't he? It's a cavity.
He's too good for a ship like this.
See if we can speak to anyone.
Evening. Before we took off, Grimley and I stopped into a greasy spoon in the city. Their sausage and eggs was perfect. Best I've ever had. Now I'm trying to remember its damn name. It's left my head. What should I say? I don't know if you'll take the third one badly or well, because it's like, oh, we're definitely going back, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll think I didn't take you for the sort to enjoy the city. Just the food, sure. The people, well, not all of them are bad.
It's getting harder to play. Cold makes the fingers stiff.
Have you tried playing closer to the furnace?
Not the same. Besides, haven't we just threw the accordion in? +5 loyalty!
Hooray!
To speak.
Captain, on evenings like this, my good friend Caroline and I would often play chess by the fireside. Makes me wish I had brought a board with me. It would have made for some light entertainment. Shame you didn't. I'd have enjoyed my game myself. Indeed. Well, we can't turn back time, can we? We'll just have to make do with what we have. Perhaps Mr. Templeton brought something along. He seems the jigsaw puzzle sort.
Yes, the kind that keeps to himself and does a jigsaw puzzle by himself. Dick grips.
Not going to rest anytime soon, are we? Could have used more hands. Hammond is worth 5 men, but even then.
You ever get the feeling you're being watched, or couldn't shake the feeling there was a pair of eyes on me while I was working there?
Yes, I'm sure there's a terrible undiscovered beast lurking in the mist.
You're bloody funny, aren't you, Captain? I'm not the superstitious sort, believe me. He likes jokes. He likes it when you're a socky little shit. That's right, Mrs. Glossary.
Anything?
Afraid not.
I didn't expect anything to come of it.
Well, at least we could say we tried.
Well, at least we can say. You see that MR doesn't end in its, does it? Well, at least we can say we tried.
Excuse you. Evening, Shaw. I've been thinking about our pay once we return to land lately. Ha! Don't mistake me for the avaricious sort, but I do have expenses to pay. Before we departed, I received a letter from one of my daughters asking to cover the cost of her stage school. And it would be a shame to promise the luxury only to retract it, don't you think?
I wasn't aware you had a daughter, Kurt.
Two, in fact. Both with the first wife. Oh, we had more than one wife. I'm just checking.
Dr. Nutley.
Captain, is there anything you miss from home? I don't mean anything important. I'm sure there are people you miss. I mean, small comforts.
The people, mostly.
Not exactly a small comfort, but I understand. It's difficult not to think about my family. Personally, I miss tea. I would drink a cup every morning, and right before sleep. I didn't think I would miss such a simple habit so much. His name is Nutley.
Captain, if you find yourself stricken with boredom, I do have a book I would recommend. A textbook on different classes of wildflowers. The topic is more interesting than it may seem, I assure you. I would enjoy that, Templeton. I'll be sure to bring it to you when I have the chance then.
Just checking. No.
I must retire for the evening.
I'll just double check, because sometimes they do have something else to say.
And one more thing. At the bow you spot Kurt, measuring for any changes in the temperature.
Still fast. No signs of any change.
He ran up quickly, didn't he?
Yes, think of that.
He notices you and gives a wave.
Doubt we'll be moving anytime soon, Captain. Of course, sometimes you never know with the eyes. You should get some rest. I'll let you know if anything changes.
See that you get some rest yourself.
I will. But we have to be alert. In my experience, change comes fast. Take care, Captain. Let's go and speak to Cordell, if we can.
Good evening, Captain. Will this take long? The dogs are fed and rested. However, I dislike leaving them alone. You've trained them well, there won't be any issue. That would be my hope, but you can never be certain.
Just checking.
The dogs need their rest, as do I, as do you.
Templeton.
Captain, a word. I felt now as good a time as any to review the wording in our contracts. You do remember what was written in your contract? Of course I do. Consider Article 3, and I quote, "The member of the staff shall throughout the period of such expedition obey all commands of the captain and shall use his best endeavours to promote the success of the same." Let him continue. "And in the event of anything happening to the captain shall obey all commands of any member of staff who shall be appointed by the captain in writing before his death." It being understood that the rest of the staff shall hold the same relations towards any member of the staff so appointed as towards the captain, as appointed by the captain in writing before his death. What are you trying to say? The vote we held settled what is only a temporary arrangement in the eyes of the law. Even then, you made it through by a hair. Unless you somehow managed to wrestle a written transfer of captaincy from Hunt before his departure, in the eyes of the law you are simply acting in his stead with no legal recourse to call upon. Now, picture the trouble that arises if the crew uncover your deceit. There is a chance Hunt and the deserters are still out there. Should we be reunited, your captaincy will indeed be called into question. I see no issue in that. Wouldn't it be good to have our captain return? You saw Hunt in his final moments with us. Do you trust that man to lead on the ice? The loyalty of the crew means everything. Get them on your side, Shaw. Keep them on your side. That will come naturally. I do not intend to disappoint. We will see. Remember my words, Shaw. I suggest you start with the Stoke brothers. It seems they speak for many of the sailors.
As if he's all like, wait until they discover your deceit.
It's like, you told me to lie to them.
You were literally like,
You little shit.
hey, just so you know, I think you should tell them the captain's dead.
Little snake.
End
I'll
of
throw his
week 5.
fucking book in the ocean.
So this is our little timer. This is how long until the rescue ship gets here. Drop fuel rations and lose decorum. We'll lose another 5, but once we interview Mr. Gloss, we should be okay.
Mr. Gloss, Mr.
Gloss.
Gloss, calling Mr. Gloss.
And as for food, no, can't afford to lose more decorum. Have to keep that decorum up. End of week 5.
3 elephant grips and Dick. They gripped that elephant seal right by the dick.
Dick was wounded.
No!
Mr. Gloss is demoralized.
Got a broken dick.
Oh, Dick.
Me dick broke.
Week 6. 3 weeks at Temperance Camp. Okay. Should be okay to take quests. Oh, hello everyone.
Just let yourselves in.
Yeah. Templeton, Kurt, Cordell, and Hammond stand inside. The beginnings of a meeting.
Well, Captain, it's been 3 weeks. Kurt tells me there's still no change in the ice.
None, and best I can estimate, what change we will see won't free the ship. I predict the Temperance is more likely to be crushed under the pressure of the ice.
And how long will that take?
A few weeks at most. Unfortunately, we may have to look at alternatives rather than waiting for the ice to break up.
Such as? Leaving the Temperance and making camp on the ice is something we will have to consider.
Aye, the longer we stay on the ship, the more fuel would have to burn. Not to mention risking another boiler incident.
Yes, that matter almost cost lives.
Eating a smaller camp burns through much less oil. And without enough fuel to survive a winter, we're dead. Don't think I need to tell you that.
I would not be quite so quick to pack up and move out just yet. And why is that? The ship is shelter. The ship is safety. Currently, there are quite a few hunting opportunities presented to us. We will need to gather more food if we are to survive, and the ship provides a safe area to hunt from.
Right, and most of the crew aren't ready to give up either. They're stubborn, just as any good crew should be.
I would rather not play into stubbornness when lives are on the line.
He has a point. Crew thinks we gave up too early. They'll resent the captain for it. Though, we now have a serious bloody flooding problem.
We do?
Aye, you might have noticed if you'd left your damn forecastle.
It is safer to take the time to gather what we need before we leave, rather than raid the ship once we make ice. Well, the answer lies with the captain. Should we move off-ship this week?
What do you think? It seems to be 50-50 split. Seems like Kurt and Cordell are in favour of staying on the ship, whereas Hammond and Templeton are against it.
My instinct would say we'll remain on the ship for now.
For now.
Like it hasn't gone critical yet.
Hasn't gone tits up yet.
It's easier to hang on to the ship and then leave than it is to leave the ship and be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So we'll remain for now.
How long for? We don't decide that, but basically each
week they'll ask.
We'll get an option. We can go down to the boiler and select abandoned ship.
Okay.
So how long do you think?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet?
No.
You want to wait and see? So
We'll remain for now. Not yet. We'll remain on ship for now. Very well. When we remove the boiler from the furnace, that is when we make our move. When you feel we're ready to go, just go to the boiler room and give the order.
Take requests. Ooh, big line. Mr. Gloss.
Captain, we tried to use the radios to pick up any signals every evening for the past week.
Nothing, I take it.
Afraid not.
As we expected.
I have to say, though, I expected a worse reaction from the sailors. I suppose there's a relief in trying a method and knowing it to be unsuccessful. Now they can move on to the next venture with little reservation. They are resourceful people, I must say.
Well, I suppose anything that puts the crew's mind at ease is worth doing. Thank you, Mr. Glossley.
So technically the decorum we lost from him being demoralised, we just gained back +1. Cordell.
Captain, my dogs appear to be struggling in the on-deck kennels. They require a more secure form of shelter from the environment. Dogloos, I believe they are called. Yes, I will require some hands to work on constructing them. It is for the health and safety of the pack. I'll put some of the crew to work on it. Thank you. We must focus on keeping the dogs safe. Yes, we should. Without them, the crew stands little chance of safety themselves.
Tucker. Mast was damaged when the ship was being tossed a while back, Captain. Let's get someone to fix it before the Temperance is freed.
Freed.
Aye, the ship could come loose any moment.
Heading up to repair the mast is a dangerous task. We don't even know if the ship will sail if the ice clears.
It would be worth it, though.
This is gonna bring up morale again.
Maybe. Still okay. We can mitigate that, but depends on what decision you make. Tends to be between losing manpower or losing morale.
Let's say it's worth the risk. Go on. I agree. It's worth the risk.
2 crew.
Okay.
I'll send. I might as well send him up since he wanted to do it. I'll send Cavity.
Yeah.
We'll send to be Tucker and Cavity. Aye. Plus 12 decorum, plus 5 loyalty from Junior, minus 5 from Templeton.
Templeton's really going off.
I was summoned by Mr. Templeton.
Yes, Mr. Isaac. This is regarding your personal item.
What do you mean?
I felt it pertinent to let the captain know that you are carrying a weapon. Excuse me?
Perhaps this is my unfamiliarity with expeditions, but I was surprised others did not bring an item to protect themselves.
Many of the crew cannot afford such an item to themselves. Captain, it is up to you on what to do with this revolver.
A gun! With all due respect, this is my personal item, Captain.
It is the captain's right to requisition any weapons on the ship. That includes your own.
We'll let him hold on to it. We can confiscate it, or we can give it to Cordell to use in hunts.
Well, I can see how obviously there'd be benefits to giving it to Cordell for the hunts. However, I can see how that would not be viewed as... they'd be like, well, why have you taken it from me and given it to her?
For hunts?
Yeah, but my immediate reaction is he can't just be waving a revolver around on the ship. He can't just have one because we are in a life and death situation, and
so we're taking it off him.
We can't give it to Cordell later, can we?
It's not the decision we're making.
I cannot allow a single person to hold on to a weapon. Hand over the revolver, Mr. Zuck.
Very well, Captain. I understand.
We would do well to avoid creating an imbalance of power among the crew. I doubt the sailors would take too kindly to such a thing. Also, that's just a recipe for disaster.
Sure. There's a rumor going around amongst the crew. They're saying the ship is haunted by the ghost of Captain Hunt. Saying that ever since he died, his spirit is cursing the Temperance to doom.
What ridiculous tripe.
Aye. What do you want to put a stop to it?
Absolutely. We can't allow rumours like that to run rampant. Ooh. Why is that?
Aye. Crew would be best pleased you're stopping the stories.
It's better than allowing fear and superstition to run wild.
Aye. Seems like Grimley kind of likes...
That was a weird one.
Yeah, I don't know why it was like, assign people. There's no one to assign. You
But
just
also it was
fulfill
like...
orders.
It demoralizes them if you stop them
Yeah.
spreading bad rumours. Like, what? Head over to the boiler when you wish to abandon ship. I suggest we do sooner rather than later.
Right. Let's get to work. I'm going to send people on the cold, and then I assume you want to build the dog shelters. Hold on. Let's
Build the dog shelters and then call it there.
let's cure someone. Yeah, should we finish this week up, and then we'll call it?
Yeah.
'Cause it's just resource.
Yeah.
Let's get Dick cured up.
Dick Flogs, is that his name?
Yeah. Dick Flogs. Rick Dick Flogs.
Rip Dick Flogs.
Rick Dick Flogs.
Dick Flogs.
Cool. Let's unmoralize Mr. Glossling. And we'll do Zach another day. We get +1 research, +5 decorum. That's nice. Then let's get into the science hold.
I need to look up who does this artwork because I'm sure I've seen it before. The illustration. Okay.
One last time with feeling.
You and Lefty charge into the room. The wooden floors and furniture have buckled enough to take apart easily. You also spot crates labelled as spare flags and luxury items. With the water flooding in from behind, you have time to grab.
Only one. Inspect the timber. Much of this room has become buckled by the ice.
Allowing it to be easily stripped for timber.
A total of 102 fuel. The crates of luxury items.
Flags from the temperance are folded neatly inside. You will also find a chessboard and a football. In total, they will provide plus 20 maximum. Kasha wanted a chessboard.
Yeah, but fuel.
But Kasha wanted a chessboard.
Oh, man. No, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I picked for you. I was meant to inspect. What would you have picked? Were you going for the chessboard? I mean, technically, resource management's my department.
It is your decision.
So...
It's your decision. The room is flooded, rendering the rest of the items useless. I mean, I don't know why the chessboard is now useless. Surely it would have been varnished, but never mind.
Just grab that chessboard.
Yeah.
Let me grab a crate of food.
Probably all the pieces were flowing around.
Spoiled rations? Oh, shit.
Has this happened what I think has happened?
The rations are spoiled. Plus 10 in the hoof, but causes malnutrition.
Oh, that's bad.
Alright. I'm assuming I want to assign some people to...
Dog time.
Dog time, okay. I will assign this person. This guy. And I think he can still work while he's demoralized. You go spend some time with the dogs, Mr. Zach. There you go.
Don't we all work while we're demoralised? Cordell shows the crew how to assemble the snowy shelters.
Okay, so the rations are spoiled, so we don't want to be getting them. So what I will do is we can send out a hunting party instead to maybe get some seals. How many people? How many crew have we got? We've got no sailors left. All 3 scouts. One in one of our engineers. So we have 4. I might scout a little bit and then send a team for food.
Yeah.
So I'll send Flick. Ooh, more elephant seals. They are worth it. Should I send Grips to get injured this time? So yeah, 3 elephant seals, because that's good for food.
Bow woof.
Bow wow wow wow.
You see, before it took 5 dogs, I think, and now it only takes 3 because of the hunting tools we got. And we have 1 scout left, Hadrian Quilsey. So I will send him. Which way should I send him to scout?
Where are they going? Where are the scouts going?
Kind of going this way a bit.
So we could send it the other way as well.
Send it that way, just so we've got it uncovered.
Sort of, yeah.
Cool. And then that is all the crew assigned. Let's call the crew for. Actually, I'll feed the hoosh pot.
Whoosh whoosh.
I don't really want to put this. To be fair, malnutrition is quite easy to heal, as long as we give them more than half rations. It should be fine. 17. And we can pop elephant seals in there, which cures freezing, so it's good to save them for that. 5 plus 17.
We've got wood in the pot.
Yeah, we don't want to feed them wood though. Ah, he got malnourished. Poor lad. It's fine, we'll cure it in the next week.
The crew have their meal. The crew return to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. Despite the time, it's still bright light outside.
Talk to Grimley and Junior.
I swear, when that oak came swinging, Captain Hun had to pull me down. This was 5, 6 years ago. I had no clue what I was doing. Both of us nearly lost an eye that day.
Same expedition, Ward lost his arm.
Half the time, I don't think Hunt knew what he was doing either. He was quite the interesting man. Aye, he is. It's a shame then. Did you need something? I heard stories about Hunt and I was curious. I'd like to know more about the man. Didn't get your fill when he was here, eh?
Worried about the vote, aren't you?
Oh, is that it, Shaw? Why would I be worried? The vote passed and I'm the captain. Alright, let's leave it at that, Grimly. Nice of you to check in, Shaw. But I think it's time the crew called it in now.
Grimly walks off.
Is there an issue I'm not aware of? A word to the wise, Robin. I have nothing against you, but we shouldn't know you either. It's going to take more than simple pleasantries to earn Grimly's trust.
Yeah. Miss the water. Not used to playing on a rocking ship. Start to feel sick when I'm off too long.
I miss it myself, that sense of constant movement. Nothing else like it.
Aye, you get it. I don't like stillness. I like feeling like I'm going somewhere.
You ever have pancakes, sure. Served some for Captain Hunt once and he started demanding them every time. Can only have them early into a trip though. Ingredients don't keep that long. Hunt was fond of your cooking, wasn't he? He hired me. Would be odd if he wasn't. Didn't take me on as charity, sure. Hunt's not the type for that.
So Grimly doesn't like it when you assert yourself as captain. In his mind, Hunt's still the captain.
I wonder how my editor will find my report in its finished state. It was a nightmare getting my plague story published. Only the Daily Appeal was willing to pick it up, and they were hardly the most reputable of papers.
Wow, that's brutal.
You did wonders for their reputation, I understand. Yes, and they're more than willing to coast off mine. Not that I mind. People buy the Daily Appeal just for my reports. I prefer that to be drowned out by other voices.
She's a very popular person. It's nice.
One of Templeton's team tried to talk to me while I was working. They were going on and on about their spouse or something. Ended up telling them to fuck off. I think they got the message.
Come now, Hammond. Are you married yourself?
Do I look married to you, Captain? I know you have business anyway. Like how he just told you. This guy was asking about my marriage and I told him to fuck off because it really pissed me off. And your next course of action is, are you married? But are you married though?
Thought you would have found that funny.
Hmm?
Thought you would have found that funny.
Oh, Mr. Templeton, Mr. Templeton.
Evening, Captain. Have you been reading that textbook? I understand if you do not have the free time. I have been reading. It's quite the interesting topic.
That's a lie. We haven't even a little glad. We forgot we got that book.
Good. I'd hoped you would enjoy it. I suppose the topic does provide an escape from the ice as well.
Dr. Nutley. Nutley does kind of sound like a chocolate, you know, dairy Nutley.
Or like peanut butter.
Yeah.
Nutley.
It's rather morbid, sure, but our last conversation had me wondering about those children of mine. Specifically, I wondered on whether I'd ever see them again. That's not something you should imagine, I know, but that threat always exists on these expeditions. I signed on knowing that.
They must be proud to have a famed explorer for a father.
You would think. A famed man makes for a busy man, and a busy man makes for an absent man. There are only so many gifts you can send them from across the sea, Robin. Notice everyone start calling you Robin now.
I know!
What's this? That looks like Mr. Zack and Gnomes. What do you have in your pocket?
What does it matter to you?
Hunched over, clutching something. It's suspicious.
I'm holding an egg.
An egg. Why?
Keep my hands warm. Boiled egg keeps heat.
That is actually rather ingenious.
We know the code better than you lot anyway.
Better than you lot anyway.
Oh,
But here is Templeton and Kurt.
still no signs of change, I take it.
Afraid not, Templeton. The ice is yet to budge.
Moving to the ice looks more and more as a to be a necessity, as I see it.
You may just be right, chum.
Your team of scouts best be keeping their focus. If we cannot find a way from this pack...
The two notice you. Ah, Captain. I wouldn't worry about the ice. My team will find a path, I have no doubt.
At ease, Kurt. You're doing good work.
Thank you, Captain. I promise my team won't grow lazy.
This is certainly not the place for it.
Cordell.
The building next to my kennels would often play music on a phonograph. I would hear it through the open window. For months on end, I would hear it as I worked. Over time, I had grown used to it. I'm sure one of the crew brought a phonograph. Perhaps you can pick up the habit once more. That is not needed. I would not attempt to impose in such a way.
Let's check again.
The dogs need their rest, as do I, as do you.
The NPC line. End week 6. Okay, so I'll bring food rations down. Should bring us down to 25 decorum once this kicks in, but I'll get it back. Food rations I'll keep up, just so we can cure this one person who got malnourished. Grips and Yorick III returned from hunting with 3 elephant seals. The dogs are rested and available to send out. Another week on the ice, naked.
Naked in the wind.
Grips was wounded by the elephant seal on the sledge hunt. Dick was cured of their wounds. Mr. Gloss was raised their spirits.
That's what Dick gets for being
Speaking to
naked in the wind.
Quilsey is no longer malnourished. Mr. Zack is demoralized. -5 decorum. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far.
And if you haven't already, make sure you check out the first part of our playthrough, part 1, to see how we got ourselves into this mess.
And we'll be back with part 3 at some point. Thank you very much for playing with me. Really enjoying it.
You're welcome. Thank you for playing with me.
Looking forward to the next one.
Yes, and until next time,
Ta-ta for now.
bye-bye.